Good afternoon and welcome into the Watson and Tressel training site here on the campus of Youngstown State University as we're just about ready to kick off today's action between Youngstown State and Duquesne. Anthony Romo, Jake Silak on the call here today. Jake, it's been a little bit of a rough stretch for the Penguins after winning their first game of the season against Butler in the season opener in thrilling fashion. The last two losses came against Marquette and Cincinnati, two programs that are really high up, bigger than Youngstown State enrollment-wise, and they've had their programs around longer. They kind of took Youngstown State to the woodshed on their home field here. The Penguins playing Duquesne today, a Duquesne team that is 0-3 on the season, that's looking for their first win of the season. I think we're in for a very competitive game today.
We are, and YSU needs to come out with that energy that they had in that first game, like you said, against Butler, kind of relive that, get that feeling back. You know, losing 2 games in a row in any sport, regardless, lacrosse or whatever the sport may be, can always leave a damper in some things here. So YSU has a good chance today against another young team in Duquesne to get that win on the board and get rid of that losing streak.
And I think that today as well for Youngstown State, you want to come out with the energy, you want to put on a good performance, because this is the last time the Penguins will be at home for 20 days. Their next home game isn't until they host Gardner-Webb on March 14th. Looks like the starters for both squads are making their way out to the field. We'll meet today's starters first for the visiting Duquesne Dukes. In goal, number 2, Maddie Piercelak, and then in the field, number 3, Mackenzie Lazinski, number 4, Jillian Caraselli, number 10, Emily O'Donnell, number 11, Delaney Rodriguez-Shaw, number 16, Emily Curtis, number 12, Julia Campagna, number 19, Miranda Held, number 21, Chelsea Evans, number 24, Hannah Pawella, number 32, Casey McBride, and number 3, Chloe Holmes. Both teams out at midfield, ready for our first face-off today. After the face-off, we'll meet the starters for the home team today, the Youngstown State Penguins. It'll be Mackenzie Lazinski for Duquesne and Natalie Kalanger-Ryan for the Penguins on our opening face-off to kick off today's game. And I'll tell you what, when YSU was at home just a few days ago at Wednesday, it was kind of a weird vibe in here. There was no energy at all, or as we were saying, juice. There was no juice at all here in the Watts. But today, the sun's out, seems a little bit more vibrant. Everyone's ready for the weekend to begin. And Duquesne will get the opening draw. They'll have possession first here today. And Lazinski going right down the middle. She'll quickly move her way into Youngstown State territory. This first quarter is going to be really crucial, I think, for both teams here today, because both squads have really struggled and come out a little bit flat. Duquesne's getting outscored 17-8 so far this season in the first quarter. YSU's getting outscored 15-8. So I think whoever can win this first quarter today, that'll give them a lot of momentum heading forward in the game, because neither team has really had a lot of momentum through one quarter of play thus far.
Yeah, and that just goes back to what we were saying earlier. Both teams on some losing streaks here. Whoever can get that first quarter, like you said, off to a good start has a really good chance to come out on top today.
Michaela Starenko, a very aggressive play, had lost the ball there for a second, made her way out of the crease about 10 yards out onto the field. Luckily, she was able to get possession for the Penguins. That could have been a really bad way to start this game for YSU.
And Starenko coming off one of her best games as a Penguin last game against Cincinnati. So YSU looking for the same production out of her today against Duquesne.
Yeah, Michaela Starenko was 1 save off of a career high against Cincinnati, had 14 saves on Wednesday. YSU wasn't able to come out on top, 14-11 loss in that one, but Starenko was busy all day long. The Bearcats were firing shots left and right at her. She really held her own for most of the game. Penguins, their first offensive possession today. Aaron Clark with it, trying to make her way in front of the net. A lot of height on Duquesne's defense, but even more height in the middle of the field. Jordan Miller right on cue, making her way inside, takes the pass from Clark, and she'll score today's first goal.
And we talked about that at the beginning of the broadcast here. Before we even got on air, we're like, man, Jordan Miller is so tall compared to everybody else on this field. And right there, as I said a couple days ago, too, when we were calling that Cincinnati game, when you have a 6'1" girl in Jordan Miller, or whoever the case may be, going against any goalie in the country, you can pretty much do whatever you want when you're given a lane like that. And Miller did just that, getting the Penguins on the board first here in the Watts.
And I think that's huge, especially for Youngstown State, a team that, if you haven't tuned in to YSU this season, they have really struggled getting girls open kind of in the middle of the lane, right in front of the goal. A lot of the defenses YSU has played has had a lot of height in their interior defense, and the Penguins have struggled getting passes inside. A lot of their goals, honestly, have come from free position attempts. But to have someone like Jordan Miller, you'd love to see YSU incorporate her more cutting inside because she can use the wingspan. You can pass it pretty much wherever you want here in the watch up towards the ceiling, and Miller's wingspan can come up and get it down with the stick. So we'll see if YSU will start to use her more as the season goes on. Of course, Miller, a team captain, was one of the bright spots on last year's team. She nets our first goal.
And I think the key to success for Duquesne today is to really do exactly what every team has done to YSU so far, apply that pressure on defense and force YSU into some bad situations on offense. YSU this season so far have lived and died by the turnover, and they're getting better at it as these 3 games have gone on, but if Duquesne wants a shot here to win today, they really need to force some turnovers on the defensive side of the ball.
And something I think it will be interesting to keep an eye on here today. This isn't something that I can remember that we dealt with last year in the Watts as Duquesne on their first attack. That one's partially deflected by a stick of a YSU defender and in the stick of Steranko.
And
Steranko
out of there again.
Something I'll find interesting is I can't really remember last season. This is the second year YSU has started their season with games in the Watts. Penguins are 5-2 all time here. I can't remember the sun being out too many times last season. And on YSU's last possession in the opposite corner, the sun is reflecting in, and we saw a couple drop passes. I wonder if that's going to be something for the players to keep an eye on, as you can kind of see it in the corner you're seeing, if they're going to be kind of blinded by the light.
Yeah, and that's really where a lot of the substitutions come into play as well. So a lot of girls trying to find someone really quick over there. So that might turn into a little bit of a story here for as long as we have that.
Kalandra Ryan shot wide of the net, but YSU will keep possession. And also you're playing with a yellow ball, which is going to make it even harder to see when it's coming your way. So that'll be something interesting to keep an eye on, like you said, as long as the sun stays out, and I think it will. Pretty clear skies here today in Youngstown as the Penguins, oh, that's wide of the net.
I could have sworn that went in.
It's tough from where we are. We saw the net move, thought it went in, but it was just to the left of the net. Nevertheless, a very good shot by Youngstown State, but it could not go in. That was Sheridan on the shot. And now for Duquesne, Piercelak will look to clear it. She has some trouble doing so, but she will get it into the stick of Pauella. With that being said, let's meet the starters today for Youngstown State. Starting in goal for the Penguins, like Jake had mentioned a little bit ago, Michaela Steranko. Then in the field, Skylar Weber, Eris Lindsay, Abby Yesko, Shannon Collin getting her first start of the season here today. Aaron Clark, Jordan Miller, who had our first goal, Alexa Byer, Kayla Stecker, Sydney Bumstead, Natalie Kalandra Ryan, and Molly Sheridan. A good look inside for the Dukes. They had Campagna wide open, but they could not get the pass to her. The Dukes have really struggled getting clean passes off so far today, Jake.
The Dukes have actually struggled so far today with what YSU has struggled with in the last few games, just clean passes, passing lanes being open. So YSU's kind of flipping the script here a little bit if you want to, if we're talking NFL.
That is true. That is true. We'll touch more on that as the game goes on. That we could talk for 60 minutes just about that alone. It was a good attack for YSU on that last possession. Had Shannon Collin pretty open down the middle of the field, but the pass was a little bit too high, and then it deflected right into the stick of Piercelak. Both teams moving quickly when they get the ball. Duquesne took them about 5-10 seconds to already be set up deep in Penguin territory. With it is Rodriguez Shaw. She'll pass it off. Duquesne looking for their first goal of the day. Good look, and there's a goal right there. Mackenzie Lazinski. Confident attack. She'll net her first goal of the day, her 7th on the season. And now 4 games into the season, Lazinski has continued her streak of scoring in every game.
And Lazinski finds that top left corner, middle left, kind of on the middle left, top left corner there, and it's where Steranko has struggled defending the last few games here. Every time an opposing player goes to the opposite side of Steranko, she does have a hard time getting back to that corner. So if Duquesne wants to really attack Steranko's weaknesses, they're going to look for those opposite corners today against her.
Duquesne led by head coach Corinne DeRogers. Youngstown State led by head coach Kendall Clarkson. Clarkson in her first season at the helm here at Youngstown State. DeRogers in her 5th season here at Duquesne. Draw will be controlled by the Penguins. And they'll look to quickly answer the Duquesne goal. Pass over to Tristan Chang. She'll now pass it back out. And that'll be a turnover. Nice job by Duquesne defensively, getting right in that passing lane. And here come the Dukes. Miranda Held will now pass it back. Approaching 9 minutes to go here in our first quarter. Great weather today in Youngstown. Could have honestly played this one outside. Would have been a little chilly, but sun always helps everything out. We would have been the only ones that really wouldn't have been doing well from it being under a roof. Chelsea Evans has it for Duquesne. The Dukes now moving around the perimeter. We haven't seen either team get real deep into the shot clock so far today. Trying to wheel her way inside was Delaney Rodriguez-Shaw. Lost her footing. That'll be a foul called on Youngstown State. That'll give Rodriguez-Shaw a free position attempt. It'll be the first one for either team so far today. Delaney Rodriguez-Shaw, one of the best players, if not the best offensive player statistically on this Duquesne roster this season. She'll drive inside, she'll shoot.
Great
That
save.
one's wide. Rodriguez-Shaw in the season now just 3 for 7 on free possession shots, and a bad pass by Youngstown State had Steranko out of the net, and Duquesne will take full advantage. They'll take their first lead of the game.
And like Anthony just said right there, just a poor pass from Youngstown State, trying to move it up the field or just trying to get back to that crease area.
We'll take another look right here. Steranko was caught out of the net. Duquesne got it. That is going to be the easiest goal that Delaney Rodriguez-Shaw will score all season long. She's now in double digits on the season with 10 goals.
And just like that, we've seen it a couple times so far this season. YSU scores that first goal of the game, and the opponents or the opposing team has found a way to put 2, 3, maybe even 4 scores right away. So Youngstown State really today needs to stop. I don't want to call it a run yet because it is only 2 goals, but the mini run here for Duquesne.
Fight for the faceoff. Youngstown State will come down with control of the draw. Shannon Collin with it now in Duquesne territory, and she is triple teamed. She loses it for a second, but a foul is going to be called. Pauella and Curtis really with a lot of pressure defensively trying to get it out of Collin's stick. Good look for Calandra Ryan, but that's saved. Don't know if that was an actual shot, but it did end up in the stick of Piercelak, and Duquesne will have possession regardless. Here come the Dukes yet again, driving down the right side of the field. Looking for their 3rd consecutive goal pretty quickly. O'Donnell will give it up. Curtis will pass it, looking inside for Holmes. One over her head, but the Dukes will keep possession. .7:23 to go here in the first quarter. Holmes inside, she'll shoot. We're going to have a whistle beforehand. That'll be a turnover. She was in the crease. So possession will go back to YSU. Here come the Penguins the other way. Moving quickly across midfield. Tristan Chang will pass it off to Natalie Calandra Ryan. YSU looking to snap a 2-game losing streak here today. Duquesne looking to snap a 3-game losing skid, looking for their first win on the season. Clark will scoop it off to Calandra Ryan. She is forced out of the goalie area. We're going to have a body check. It'll be a free position opportunity here for Calandra Ryan.
Great call, Anthony. Great call.
We're still learning. We do know what a body check is now, though. Natalie Calandra Ryan driving inside. She'll shoot. She'll score. The foul does not matter. Natalie Calandra Ryan nets her first goal of the day, and Youngstown State ties this one up at 2.
And that was a really, really great move that we're about to see here again. I don't really think we understand how good of a move this was to go all the way back down and pick it up. I mean, Piercelak and the goal can't really do much about that. Just keeping the ball in the stick is a win, let alone getting it back up and over.
Lazinski and Held were trying to force it out of the stick of Calandra Ryan, but she used her strength to put it in. We'll take a quick break. 2-2, 6:27 to go in our first quarter. Welcome back. 2-all our score here. Very exciting first quarter thus far between Youngstown State and Duquesne here at the Watts. Anthony Romo, Jake Silak back on the call. Jake, Natalie Calandra Ryan netted her first goal for the Penguins off a free position attempt before we took our first break of the day. Natalie, she's had an excellent freshman season last year for Youngstown State, and she's really looking to lead this team to another new level here in 2023.
And one of the two players on the team to reach 100 points so far in these first couple games here. Her and
Aaron Clark.
Aaron Clark was the other one to reach that milestone, and it's a really big number that early in the season.
Another look inside and another goal for Natalie Calandra Ryan, the duo we just talked about.
Ew.
Clark to Calandra Ryan, and the Penguins quickly will gain the lead.
Okay, that was. Yeah, I should just shut up and just let that happen. That was beautiful. Clark to Calandra Ryan right there. Just a pass-off, dump over the top to Calandra Ryan, who finds the net. I mean, I wouldn't know what to do if I was a goalkeeper in that situation, so I'm not even going to speak on behalf of Pierce Selak there.
And you were talking about Clark and Calandra Ryan. Aaron Clark, a junior, hitting 100 career points. And Natalie Calandra Ryan also doing so. Calandra Ryan had one of the best seasons in Mid-American Conference history. Last season had a Mid-American Conference record, 68 goals, also had 32 assists. Then Clark, on the other hand, her big thing was the assists. She had such a good season last year for YSU, setting up Natalie Calandra Ryan, had 5 assists in 2 games last season. When those two are on and they're on the same page, this team can be very lethal offensively.
And we saw it when Clark went down against Marquette, where Calandra Ryan had to take over that back X role. And once you get back there and once you get rid of such a valuable attacker, it does make the game really difficult. So to have someone back in Aaron Clark behind that net is huge for YSU.
3-2 Penguins, 5:43 to go here in the first quarter. That'll be a turnover. Duquesne will get it right back. Casey McBride will pass it back to Piercelak, who will quickly move it up the field. That one is jarred away by Natalie Calandra Ryan, and losing possession was Duquesne. That was Held, who could not keep it in her stick, so a great cause turnover there by Natalie Calandra Ryan, and here comes YSU yet again. Penguins playing with a lot of confidence here in the first quarter today. Abby Yesko with it behind the net. She'll give it to Calandra Ryan, and Natalie Calandra Ryan with another look. That one is saved for the time being. Piercelak couldn't keep it in the stick. Another look for Calandra Ryan. That one is lost. And Duquesne will luckily catch a break. Natalie Calandra Ryan almost had a hat trick right there. in the span of about 3 or 4 minutes.
And that was great defense right there from Duquesne, staying with it, not giving up on the play there, and forcing that turnover.
McBride will give it up. We've went back and forth here in the first quarter so far. YSU scored the first goal. Duquesne scored the next 2. Now YSU has scored the last 2. Both teams still in that feeling out stage here in the first quarter. But if they keep up this pace for 4 quarters, we could have a high-scoring, exciting game today. Curtis will give it up. McBride has it behind the net. Actually, that was Holmes. It's a good look inside for Evans, but did not get a clean shot off.
Well, and YSU might have caught a break right there, too. Saw Duquesne working on that exact design right there in the pregame, and just wasn't able to handle it. YSU might have caught a little bit of a break there, Anthony.
Harris Lindsay will give it up to Tristan Chang. Now Aaron Clark has it. Clark already 2 assists out of the 3 YSU goals so far today. She's just trying to get rid of it. Miranda Held was playing great defense. Now Sydney Bumstead has it for the Penguins. Like I said a little bit ago, and still the case remains, neither team has went too deep into the shot clock so far today. Both offenses moving very quickly. YSU with it under 40 seconds. This is probably the deepest a possession has gone so far today for either team. Under 3 minutes to go in the first quarter. Clark driving inside. She'll get good in front of the net. Shot a little bit too high, but possession will stay with YSU. Now 20 seconds remain on the shot clock. Natalie Calandra-Ryan to the right of the net. Now backing down the defender. Penguins are going to have to get a shot up. Less than 10 seconds on the shot clock. Chang will shoot it. Actually, a pass inside for Calandra-Ryan. Had a good look. That was above the net. That'll be a shot clock violation. So a great defensive possession by Duquesne. YSU unable to get a single good look out of that, and the Dukes will get the ball back.
And the Dukes, a young team like we talked about, Anthony, 14 new faces for Duquesne this year. So, you know, sometimes when you deal with a young team, as I always say in any sport, a little bit of the patience factor will weigh in. But so far, Duquesne has shown a lot of patience here against a team in YSU that pretty much has double the roster size.
Yeah, indeed. Duquesne, only 23 players on the roster and only 17 traveled here today. We're going to have a stoppage in play. Minute 41 remains here on the first quarter clock. Looks like we got everything situated. Shot clock was reset. 85 seconds remain on it. Good defense by YSU, trying to keep the Dukes out. Chelsea Evans, good look. A little bit wide of the net, though. Evans has had a couple good opportunities inside. Duquesne will keep possession. 1:09 to go here in our first quarter. YSU will get it back. Under a minute to go in our first quarter. Shot clock's turned off. Jordan Miller with it. The Penguins will move to the left side of the net. Can YSU extend this lead out to 2 goals before the end of the first quarter? Clark driving around, but good defense by Duquesne, clogging up the interior. Jordan Miller now, stutter step. She'll be pushed out. Good job by Held. 5 seconds remain in the first quarter. Miller's gonna have to get a shot up. She'll lob it over to Chang. She'll shoot. Saved by Piercelak. That'll take us to the end of the first quarter. 2 great defensive possessions by Duquesne in the latter half of the first quarter. Youngstown State, though, on top 3-2. We'll be right back after this. Three to two our score here at the Watch. Youngstown State on top of Duquesne. Anthony Romo, Jake Silak back on the call here from Youngstown State as you're taking a look at the Penguins. Getting a talk from head coach Kendall Clarkson before they head back out onto the field. Jake, at the top of the broadcast, we talked about how crucial it was going to be for the team that won the first quarter here today, taking some momentum forward. And honestly, it's 3-2, but either team could be in the lead right now. Duquesne's had their good looks. I could say it was a pretty even first quarter.
It was, and we talked about it too right at the end there. You did defense. So far, only 3-2. Both teams have played really good defense, but both teams have also gotten their fair shots off today, as we say 7 shots on goal for Youngstown State. But both squads are able to get shots off. They've gotten some shots off. They've gotten good looks is the key word there that I want to say. So both teams, like you said, no real advantages so far for either team.
Youngstown State 10 shots in the first quarter to 5 for Duquesne. The script has kind of flipped for YSU compared to what it has been as of late. Usually it's been the opponents the last 2 games against Marquette and Cincinnati that have come into the Watts and controlled pretty much the first 3 quarters for both games when their starters were really playing. But Youngstown State finally able to grab some momentum early on. This is their first lead after a first quarter all season. Natalie Calandra-Ryan with it, working behind the net. Good look inside for Bumstead, and Sydney Bumstead gets her first goal of the day.
And Calandra-Ryan did a great job right there of looking for those cutters. Like I said, playing that exposition behind that goal, sweeping around the left side, and finds I just lost my mind right here. And finds Bumstead right in the middle there. YSU's at their best, Anthony, when their girls are cutting and they're able to make those cuts effectively and get around defensive stops. So, with that being said, you get on the board, 2 more, and Bumstead finds a goal.
So YSU able to extend the lead out to 2 goals. 4-2 now our score. Great job by the Penguins to win the opening draw of the second quarter, move right down the field and find the back of the net. Our second draw of the second quarter will be won by Youngstown State yet again. Both teams have struggled controlling draws this season. Duquesne has has controlled just 32, while their opponents have controlled 57, while YSU has controlled just 38, with their opponents controlling 63. So it has been wide margins, but the Penguins are the team that has been stepping up today in that category. YSU will have possession, working behind the net. Aaron Clark will pass it off to Natalie Calandra-Ryan. YSU possibly looking for a little bit of revenge against a Duquesne team that beat them last season. Clark looking for Natalie. She'll shoot. It's a good look, looking for that bottom right corner. It's a little wide, and we have a heavy collision between Calandra-Ryan and number 24, Hannah Pawella. The Dukes will get possession out of it, and Piercelak will quickly move it up to Miranda Held. She'll get it across midfield. And you saw that the pass over to Caroselli, she kind of ducked a little bit when she got the pass. I'm telling you, players looking towards the sunlight. There's a big glare coming in from the windows above our cameramen. Yeah, and it has to be tough.
And what's going to get worse here if this sun stays out, as it starts to set, that sun is going to move towards the goal there. It started off on the sideline, and it's slowly inching over the numbers. So once it gets towards that shot clock over there, that'll get real interesting for the defensive side that's over there.
You got to think offensively, the team that is moving the other way is going to have the advantage. So Youngstown State will be moving towards the shade in quarters 2 and 4. Duquesne, of course, moving that way in quarters 1 and 3. Driving inside very quickly was Campagna. We're going to have a whistle beforehand. She'll have to come back and do it all over. Be a free position chance now for Julia Campagna. Looking for possibly her first goal on the season. She'll drive in, she'll shoot, and Starenko let it go right under the stick. Kind of deja vu from our last game, and Duquesne will get 1 goal closer.
Like you said, deja vu from the last time we saw this.
Starenko got a stick on it, but it just went right under it and just trickled its way into the net.
And playing on this sort of AstroTurf thing, you never know which way the ball is going to bounce, how it's going to go. It's like a bouncy ball. It bounces straight up, and then it shoots to the side. I mean, any little spin that they can put on that ball will make a huge difference. And Starenko, like you said, getting a stick on it, but that spin, unfortunately, drops it underneath the net. And for Duquesne's sake, they find a way to trim the lead to just 1.
Julia Campagna, freshman out of Swedesboro, New Jersey, with her first career goal. That'll make it 4-3 YSU here with 12:39 to go in our second quarter. And like we mentioned earlier, Jake, the last 2 games for our sake of the broadcast have been really kind of one-sided. This has been an exciting start to this game. Both teams very competitive early on. Possession has been about 60-40 YSU, but compared to the last 2 games we've had where Marquette and Cincinnati have pretty much controlled the entire way through, this is kind of a change for us.
And it doesn't really feel like a 4-3 game right now. It feels like it should be a higher scoring game from both squads. So a lot of defense being played, like we said, but a lot of excitement as well from both ends of the offense.
Both offenses have had a lot of good looks early on today. Youngstown State, you could say, has had more chances towards the net. Maddie Piercelak has 5 saves for Duquesne, just 1 save so far for Michaela Starenko. $12-12 to go here in our second quarter. YSU on top of Duquesne, 4-3. Anthony Romo, Jake Silak on the call here today. We talked about the Penguins looking for a little bit of revenge against the Dukes from last season. Duquesne beat YSU in Duquesne 19-15 last season on February 14th. And it was a big first half for Duquesne that really helped catapult them to victory. Final score is 19-15. They had a 13-6 lead at halftime. So YSU has come out better against this Duquesne team this season, but you mentioned it earlier, 14 newcomers on this Duke squad, so it's basically kind of a new bunch.
Yeah, YSU gets pretty much, like you said, a new look at a completely reshaping Duke's team here. So a good opportunity for YSU to see maybe what they have for the next few years down the road.
Yeah, with YSU and Duquesne being so close to each other, wouldn't surprise you if this becomes a yearly matchup. Allie Corn into the game for the first time today. Corn, a 7th-year senior. Started her collegiate career in 2017 at the University of Vermont, playing for the Catamounts.
It's a lot of college.
That's a lot of classes.
That's a lot of college.
That's 14 semesters. Erin Clark moving close to the net. She stepped inside the crease. Good eye by our official. He saw it right
got
away.
away with it.
So that'll be a turnover for Youngstown State. Duquesne will get it back.
I'll tell you what, this official's really loud too. I can kind of hear him through our headsets, which is really nice.
Helps our sake. Three goals by 3 different players for Duquesne thus far. Youngstown State has 4 goals, 2 by Natalie Calandra-Ryan, 1 by Sydney Bumstead, and the opening goal of the day was by Jordan Miller. The Dukes working behind the net. Chloe Holmes has it, looking for a good opportunity, but she'll have to pass it up. Good defense by the Penguins. Now with it is Lazinski. She'll pass it off. 26 seconds remain on the shot clock, and we are all tied up. A great goal by Chelsea Evans, firing it right past Michaela Starenko. That'll tie this one up at 4.
And Evans, a little thread the needle action here. The smallest window possible. It's like an NFL quarterback trying to thread the needle into a wide receiver there. Beautiful, beautiful placement by Chelsea Evans to get it past Michaela Starenko and tie this ball game 4-4.
9:49 to go here in the second quarter. YSU played some good defense throughout the majority of that possession, but Duquesne had the last laugh. We are all tied up. It was an early goal by Youngstown State via Sydney Bumstead to push the lead out to 2 goals for YSU, make it 4-2. But Duquesne has scored the last 2 goals. Chelsea Evans and Julia Campagna. Now it'll be Mackenzie Lazinski and Natalie Calandra-Ryan back at midfield for the draw yet again. Control will go to YSU. Nice job by Calandra-Ryan of scooping it up. Allie Corn now working to the back left side of the net. Penguins looking to gain this lead back. Time called by our referee.
Just a little stoppage in play there for a lost face mask. So we will resume action here.
We know how hard these balls are. If you get hit by one in the face, it's going to do a lot of damage. 9 minutes to go here in the second quarter. Getting tangled up was Sheridan for YSU and Evans for Duquesne. And just like that now, Duquesne has a chance to take the lead.
Duquesne's done a really good job so far of just slow and methodical here. Find the lanes. And as I say that, they turn the ball over. But regardless, still, they've done a good job so far today of hanging with this YSU offense.
Almost halfway into our second quarter here from the Watson and Tressel training site. The season goes on as scheduled. This will be the last home game here in this facility for Youngstown State this season. YSU, of course, very lucky to have a facility like the Watts where they can play their first few lacrosse games of the season. When this was scheduled way back whenever it was, a lot of these games could have been played outdoors. The weather's been very nicer than expected for normal winter here in Northeast Ohio. Good look inside for Bumstead. Clark pass a little bit too high. And now coming down with it is Piercelak. Duquesne's still going to have to be able to clear this one. And they will. Piercelak to Paulwella. She was able to get it out of defensive territory for Duquesne. But Allie Korn is all over her. She'll have to pass it back. Piercelak just throwing the stick at it, able to keep it in front. All tied up, 4 apiece. Weaving through the YSU midfield are the Dukes. And another good look, good shot by Curtis. That was saved by Steranko. Duquesne looking to take their first lead since it was 2-1 back in the first quarter. Rodriguez Shaw guarded by Lindsay. She'll go right through the defense. And that'll be another goal for Delaney Rodriguez Shaw, her second of the day and her 11th on the season. And that'll give Duquesne the lead. We'll take a quick break. We'll talk about it more when we return. 5-4 Duquesne here with just under 7 minutes remaining. A 3-goal spurt by the Duquesne Dukes have given them a 5-4 lead over Youngstown State with 6:33 to go here in the second quarter. Anthony Romo, Jake Silak back on the call here from the Watts. And Jake, it seemed like Youngstown State for a second there is going to be able to keep adding momentum and kind of run away with this one early on. But Duquesne has won on a run of their own. They're now up by 1.
Duquesne's offense today, they haven't been as lethal as it seems like they would be when we say they're up in the game. However, they've just done what they needed to do so far. They've played defense. They've played effective defense. Even on the save end of things, you know, Duquesne is at 5 saves to YSU's 3. They've controlled the ball a little bit more, 7 turnovers to YSU's 8. So Duquesne they've done the little things so far that have put them up by 1 here midway through the second quarter.
Lazinski and Kalanger Ryan back on the draw here at midfield. YSU has controlled 7 draws. Duquesne has controlled 3. Make that 4. Mackenzie Lazinski comes down with it, and here come the Dukes once again. Lazinski going right by Shannon Collins. She's going to get towards the goal before she's pushed away by Weber. She'll now pass it off. Spin move by Evans. And now Duquesne will settle down offensively. Delaney Rodriguez Shaw, 2 goals today, had our last goal before the timeout. looking for her third. That one is wide of the net. Rodriguez shot a great performance last season against Youngstown State, totaling 6 points. She had 4 goals and 2 assists against the Penguins. It was a big reason for Duquesne's 19-15 victory. Mackenzie Lazinski trying to drive past Jordan Miller. We're going to have a foul called on Youngstown State. And now Duquesne's going to have a free position attempt. Can the Dukes add on to this lead? Driving inside and shooting and scoring is Mackenzie Lazinski. Her second goal of the day, and it is now 6-4 Duquesne.
And that's a big gut shot right there for Duquesne to be able to administer to YSU. Just a little left to right action, and right before Steranko could get around back to her left side, the shot was off and in the back of the net. And like you said, Anthony, 6-4 in favor of Duquesne, and all of a sudden the Dukes look like they have all the momentum in the world.
5:26 to go here in the second quarter. Duquesne's outscored YSU 4-1. The Penguins scored the first goal of the quarter way back towards the opening of it, but ever since then it has been Duquesne. YSU's last goal came with 14:29 to go here in the second quarter. It was a goal by Sydney Bumstead. Looks like another draw that will go the way of the Dukes. And it will. Foul will be called on Eris Lindsay. Possession will go to Duquesne. Here they come. Another shot and another goal.
That was beautiful. Beautiful placement right there by number 21, Chelsea Evans. I mean, we'll see right here, just a little spin move to a box out in the top left corner where, I mean,
no one's going to be able to
no
save
one
that.
is be able to get that at all.
Timeout called by Youngstown State head coach Kendall Clarkson. We'll take 1-2. 5:04 to go in the second quarter. We'll be right back. Welcome back. 7-4 Duquesne here in the second quarter from the Watts. 3 different Dukes now with 2 goals here today. Chelsea Evans with her second goal. That was Duquesne's second goal in a span of 19 seconds. That has pushed this lead up to 3 goals. Anthony Romo, Jake Silak back on the call. Youngstown State, they're going to have to kind of weather this storm. You talked about teams going on runs against the Penguins so far here towards the beginning of the season. Duquesne on a big one. They've scored the last 5 goals. Their lead has now been pushed up to 3.
YSU, just like you said, they need to be able to weather this storm. But I would also like to see YSU maybe get a little more aggressive on the defensive side of things. YSU has struggled in the last few games, as I mentioned earlier, when the defense has been ramped up on them. I would really like to see what would happen if YSU maybe just administered that energy back to Duquesne a little bit here, forcing them into bad positions, forcing some turnovers, and trying to get the ball back here with 5 minutes remaining in the second quarter, maybe get a goal or 2 out of it.
Momentum will all start with the draw control right here if Youngstown State's able to do so, and they will. Eris Lindsay will come down with it for Youngstown State. And she'll quickly push it up the field. Here comes YSU, Aaron Clark with it, working to the right side of the net. As you can see, the sun has started to glare in from this side of the field as well. Kalandra Ryan will pass it off. Under 5 minutes to go here in the second quarter. Aaron Clark driving around. She'll be pushed out. Good defense by McBride. Kalandra Ryan to Clark. Ball getting kicked everywhere, and Shannon Cullen will keep it for the Penguins. Still a lot of time left on the shot clock. 43 seconds. Corn with a look. She'll score. Nice job by Sydney Bumstead setting up Allie Corn. She had a good look. No defender in sight, and YSU will put an end to their 10-minute-long scoring drought.
And Corn just between the legs right there of number 2 and that goalkeeper, Piercelak. Another great placement so far. We've seen a lot of those today. Placement shots are key for both squads rather than just power.
7-5 now our score. 4:11 to go here in the second quarter. Taking a look at Sydney Bumstead and Allie Corn, the duo that was responsible for that goal right there for Youngstown State. For Allie Corn, that was her 5th goal of the season. And for Sydney Bumstead, that was her first assist. First assist on the season to go along with 7 goals. Sydney had 2 goals last time out against Cincinnati. Tied a career high with 3 goals in the opener against Butler. Actually, she has another goal today, so that'll be 9 total points. Add another goal to that. She scored in every goal this season, or every game this season. Had 3 in the season opener, 2 goals in the last 2 games, 1 today, then to go along with her first season assist. Duquesne controlled that drop. That was Lazinski coming down with it while we were talking. And the Dukes will now quickly look to make this a 3-goal game once again. Lazinski's going to have a good look. Last second, she was cut off by Kayla Stecker. You got to imagine a free position's coming up, and we will see one.
Duquesne, like you said, another really good opportunity here. And honestly, not a horrible foul there from number 19 for the Penguins, Kayla Stecker. Just really too close to the goal there for comfort. Nothing in front of her but the goalie, and take your chances on a free position.
Mackenzie Lazinski looking for her 2nd hat trick of the season if she can get a goal today, or a goal right here. She had a hat trick in the season opener against Pitt. She'll drive inside. She'll shoot. Saved by Starenko. Why she'll get possession back.
Big save right there from Starenko. Needed that for a little bit of confidence boost there after getting 5 straight.
Actually, they're going to call the shot wide, so no save goes to Starenko. She's still at 3 saves today. Piercelak with 5 saves for Duquesne. A bad pass by YSU. They'll turn it right back over. Sheridan cannot field the pass cleanly. It's YSU's 9th turnover so far here in the first half. Penguins averaging 16 turnovers per game through the first 3. McBride trying to step through the double team there by the Penguins. A foul will be called. Duquesne will keep possession. Nearing the halfway point here of today's game. Bumstead almost forced the turnover for the Penguins, but Duquesne will keep it. Got to give credit to O'Donnell. Almost lost it, then kept it, and we're going to have a green card delay of game given to the Penguins. We'll take another look right here. Aaron Clark just trying to keep O'Donnell on her half of the field. We're going to have a delay of game called. So YSU is going to have to be playing without Aaron Clark for a minute. She'll be able to come back with just over 1 minute to go here in the second quarter. As we're going to have a foul called on the Penguins.
And you can see right here, Anthony, that sun's starting to creep over to the net. So whoever is on this side, like you said earlier, in goal for this second or for the start of the third quarter might have some sun to deal with.
1:53 to go in the second quarter. Nice look inside. Rodriguez Shaw had an opportunity. We're going to have two players tangling up. Holmes for Duquesne and Sheridan for Youngstown State. It's a big collision. A little bit of the feet tangling up. 1:45 to go here in the second quarter. And Sheridan will lose possession. That'll give it back to the Dukes. 1:27 to go here in the second quarter. Holmes now with it to Duquesne in familiar territory here in the second quarter. She loses her stick. So that'll be an easy takeaway for YSU. Aaron Clark back on the field for the Penguins. So YSU with an opportunity to get a goal here and make it a one-goal game as we near the break. 7-5 was the halftime score. YSU's trailing against Cincinnati on Wednesday. They'll look to make it 7-6 here on their last possession of the first half. Here comes Aaron Clark. Over to Calandra Ryan, back inside to Korn. She'll shoot too high. It's great ball movement by YSU, and now they're going to have to move quick. 5 seconds to go here in the second quarter. Korn driving inside. She'll have to shoot it. She can't get a shot off. Actually, we're going to have a whistle right beforehand.
We might get a free position out of this with
you could put about 2
the
seconds back on the clock.
Maybe, yeah.
Our refs are going to talk through this one. You'll see Korn right here. Got tangled up with Evans. Won't be a free position. But Korn's just going to have to fire a shot away. It might as well be one. So essentially be the last play of the first half. Korn awaiting our official signal.
You were right, Anthony. 1 second here on the clock, so it's just going to be a fire away and see what happens. Big opportunity for Maddie Piersalak.
And that'll take us to halftime. Youngstown State unable to get a shot off. Duquesne leads 7-5. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll have first half analysis and second half play here from the Watts. Welcome back. Currently halftime here at Youngstown State. The Penguins trailing Duquesne 7-5. Anthony Romo, Jake Silac back on the call here from the Watts. Youngstown State was able to control a lot of the first quarter. They were able to lead after one full quarter of play. As we're going to take a look at some of our first half highlights. The Penguins are up 3-2 after one quarter of play, and then Duquesne came out with a vengeance in the second quarter, putting up 5 goals to the Penguins 2. They lead 7-5. Duquesne had 9 shots. 7 of them were on goal in the second quarter, resulted in 5 goals. Jake, I don't know what was said at the end of the first quarter from head coach Corinne DeRosiers to her team, but the Dukes came out in the second quarter. They played strong. They're currently with the lead. And I think they have a lot of momentum heading into the second half as well.
Yeah, and Duquesne's done a really good job so far of playing with pace, playing to their style. They got a lot of girls on the team who are on the shorter end and really quick as far as their attackers are concerned. So, you know, Duquesne able to play to their strengths, move fast, and not let YSU set up their defense, which I think so far today has killed YSU, especially in that 5-goal run there, just not being able to set up defenses, I should say. And Duquesne, you know, making the plays when it matters, finding the gaps, finding the shots, and they're capitalizing when they need to.
As you're taking a look right there, free position goal by Madison Lazinski. The Dukes did a lot of things good in that second quarter, obviously, and they've really been spreading the wealth around. 2 goals by 3 different players: Chelsea Evans, Delaney Rodriguez-Shaw, and Madison Lazinski. Then the other goal for the Dukes belongs to Julia Campagna. For Youngstown State, as we begin our second quarter of play, they're led by Natalie Calandra-Ryan, who has 2 goals, Sydney Bumstead, Allie Corrin, and Jordan Miller, all with 1 goal for the Penguins. Erin Clark, the leading assister, with 2 assists so far through 30 minutes of action. You'd love for the Penguins to get a goal on the board here early in the third quarter like they did in the second, and try to ride some of that momentum here in the second half, playing in front of their home crowd.
Absolutely, and you're going to see, too, this is going to become a story here, as weird as it sounds, but the sun is starting to set here in Youngstown, Ohio, and that sun's going to move over to that goal. So the goalkeeper in Maddie Piercelak is going to have a little tough time here in a few minutes when that sun becomes a factor.
Natalie Calandra-Ryan uses possession for the moment, but she will regain it. And that pass is stolen. Great job defensively by Miranda Held. We've been saying her name a lot so far here today. She has been all over the place for Duquesne defensively and offensively. Held has had quite a good start to the game today. 2 ground balls. That's her first caused turnover, and Duquesne is now in business. The Dukes with their first offensive possession here of the third quarter. Duquesne has forced 3 turnovers. Youngstown State has forced 6. Altogether, the Penguins have 11 turnovers to Duquesne's 9. Jillian Caroselli working to the right side of the net, guarded by Skylar Weber. She'll work her way around now. Weber will meet her on the other end. Mackenzie Lazinski trying to get around Jordan Miller. She's struggling to do so. Good defensive possession for YSU. Duquesne moved it quickly to this side. Once the Penguins are able to get everyone back and set up, they've been able to kind of hold the Dukes at bay. But just as I say that, Chloe Holmes with the goal, her first of the day, and Duquesne's first here of the second half. They now have their biggest lead of the day, leading 8-5.
Holmes, a 6-foot freshman here, just finds a way, gets that little spin move to that box out to the right side, and Duquesne has taken advantage of the weak side for Steranko being that top right, top left corner, and so far so good for Duquesne.
Now 7 goals on the season for Chloe Holmes here in her freshman campaign. Freshman out of Rockford, Michigan. She has now scored still in every game this season. All 4 games have had a goal for her. She had a hat trick against Kent State earlier in the season. That game against Kent State for Duquesne was a 16-15 loss in overtime, but so many players for the Dukes contributed in that one. That was one of the funny things kind of doing prep, getting ready for this game. It seemed like every single player for Duquesne had a hat trick in that game. And when you look at the individual stats, a lot of different players spread of the wealth. Chelsea Evans had a hat trick. Delaney Rodriguez-Shaw had 6 goals. Chloe Holmes had 3 goals. Mackenzie Lazinski had 2 goals in that game. Everyone contributed to that ball game. They were just unable to come out on top. Be a free possession chance here for Eris Lindsay and Youngstown State. Lindsay will drive inside. She'll shoot. That one is saved by Piercelak. And Duquesne able to scoop the ground ball up and come the other way. Nice job by Rodriguez-Shaw. She'll pass it off. And another goal will come from Jillian Caraselli. This one via the ground attack. And Duquesne has added 2 quick goals onto the board. 12:21 to go here in the third quarter.
Yeah, and Anthony, you kind of just saw me jump back in my seat a little bit. I absolutely love that going low here, taking the approach where all day long they've attacked those top right and top left corners like I've been saying, but there decides to go underneath and through the legs of the goalkeeper in Steranko, mixing it up a little bit, something different, and Duquesne is still finding little weaknesses here and there, and YSU is starting to fall behind the 8 ball again.
Lead is up to 4 now for Duquesne, 9-5. Now our score. It's kind of a carbon copy of how the last game went for Youngstown State. It was a 14-11 loss to Cincinnati, but YSU was trailing 7-5 at the break, and then Cincinnati jumped on the Penguins early in the third quarter to make that one 9-5. That lead got up to 10-5 before Youngstown State was able to get a goal back with Sydney Bumstead. Penguins control the draw. Natalie Calandra-Ryan has done a good job of doing that today. That's her 5th draw control of the afternoon for Youngstown State. Erin Clark working behind the net, trying to find someone in front. Had Tristan Chang there for a second, but couldn't find her. A lot of time remains on the shot clock, 64 seconds. Now you're just going to let this offense assemble if you're Youngstown State. Try to find an open cutter. Calandra-Ryan inside to Clark. She did just that, and she'll score. Erin Clark. But nope, they're going to call it off. Foul on Clark. We'll take another look right here.
And I believe, and I could be mistaken here with this wording, but I believe they're going to get her with a somewhat of a high stick there against that. And I couldn't get the number on that, but against her defender.
There'll be a yellow card on Erin Clark. Youngstown State unable to catch a break here today. That'll be a high stick.
Oh, and that
right
could be a real bad situation here for YSU, going down 2 girls at pretty much the exact same time.
So Sydney Bumstead will make her way to the bench. Now you're missing an attacker and a midfielder. Actually, you're down 2 attackers now for Youngstown State. Luckily, in this case, Duquesne has the ball, so the Penguins have all their defenders. Now you got to get a stop. Penguins 2 minutes down for 2 of their best attackers. Good look, one more pass, and there's another goal for Duquesne. Delaney Rodriguez-Shaw now with the hat trick. Her 3rd goal of the day and her 4th total point. That'll make it 10-5 Dukes.
And Duquesne, they're just riding that momentum here right now, and it's very clear. Just finding little opportunities here and there, and Steranko kind of setting up more towards that left side and left the right side of the goal wide open. And once again, I say it again, Duquesne just taking advantage of the little mistakes that YSU's making here at the start of this third quarter.
Delaney Rodriguez-Shaw continues the tear that she has been on the last 2 games. That now makes it 3 consecutive games where Rodriguez-Shaw has delivered a hat trick, including a 6-goal performance against Kent State 2 games ago. Don't want to get that mixed up. Kent State 2 games ago and Penn State last game. Got to emphasize the T.
If I'm not mistaken, I think Penn State's ranked number 25 in the country, so just hanging with them too. Playing
19-5
against them.
loss
Playing
in that
against
one.
them. I got the wrong one. I looked at the score earlier and I mixed them up.
But Rodriguez-Shaw with 3 of the 5 goals in that game for Duquesne. So she still showed up. She has a bright future ahead, only a sophomore. For a Duquesne team that was picked to finish 5th in the A-10 this season, which is dead middle in the pack. It's been an avalanche to start this third quarter. 3 goals in the first 4 minutes for Duquesne. Lead has been pushed up to 5 goals. Of course, you're not out of it in any means if you're Youngstown State, but you got a big, steep hill to climb if you're the Penguins. Natalie Calandra-Ryan with it, working behind the net for Youngstown State. Thanks for tuning in today here to this YouTube broadcast of Youngstown State Lacrosse here on the YSU Sports Channel. Anthony Romo, Jake Silac here on the call today.
And this is where I expect YSU to take some advantage of the right side of the net here. As you can see, that sun is going to be blinding the goalkeeper for the next pretty much 9 minutes and 37 seconds here.
Tristan Chang, a little bit of a spin move to try to create some space. She'll pass it off to Molly Sheridan. And you can see Sydney Bumstead now able to return back into the game. So YSU, with their 2 players back, will look to start to chip away at this deficit. Allie Garrett, name we haven't said so far today, but she has really played well the last 2 games for Youngstown State. She gets fouled. We'll take another look at her right here. Garrett trying to get past the defender. Big time collision between her and Pawella. And that'll be a free position attempt. Allie Garrett has been so good at that this season. Can't convert. Bumstead had a good chance. Tristan Chang will keep it with the Penguins. Calandra-Ryan will shoot and she'll score. Natalie Calandra-Ryan now with the hat trick here today. Youngstown State's 6th goal of the day. She scored half of them. That's her 3rd goal. And Youngstown State now trails by 4.
Calandra-Ryan doing a good job of taking advantage of the size difference there. 5'10" goalkeeper in there. So going low is definitely a good idea and a good option for YSU. So Calandra-Ryan kind of picking out some weaknesses of her own that she can think of and gets a point on the board, gets a score on the board, I should say, for Youngstown State. And, you know, like we said, Anthony, maybe it could be the spark for YSU, but it feels like it needs to be the spark for YSU.
Natalie Calandra-Ryan was so big last year against Duquesne for YSU. They came out on the losing end, but Natalie did lead the team with 6 goals in that game. She now has 13 this season, 19 total points, which leads the team. And she'll control the draw. So nice back-to-back plays there for Calandra-Ryan. And like you said, Jake, YSU will now look to go on a run of their own here on their home turf. Their last home game, and for quite a while, they won't return home for 3 weeks after today. Go on the road for 2 games for the first time this season.
That's crazy to think about, isn't it?
It is. Of course, this is a golden opportunity for YSU. Not too many teams are going to be able to start with their first 4 games on their home turf. Bumstead driving inside. She gets collided with. Foul will be called right there on Delaney Rodriguez-Shaw. Tried to cut her off. Sydney Bumstead, who has already scored today, looking for her 2nd goal. Driving inside is Bumstead. She'll shoot. And that's a goal. So Bumstead gets her 2nd on the board. And YSU, 2 quick goals. They now trail by 3.
And Bumstead right here takes the Calandra-Ryan route going low and finds that weakness once again. 5'10" in their goalkeeper. So those low corners are always going to be there.
We'll have a quick stoppage and play. 8:09 to go here in the 3rd quarter. We'll be right back. Welcome back. 8:09 to go here in the third quarter. Anthony Romo, Jake Silac back on the call after the Duquesne timeout. After 2 quick goals by Youngstown State to make this a 10-7 ball game. Jake, the Penguins with some momentum back in their favor, but Duquesne, after the timeout, will look to kind of snatch some of that right back. But YSU is able to control another draw. Natalie Calandra-Ryan has been so good at that here today. That's her 7th draw control today, her 24th on the season, which leads the team.
And a great day for draw controls for YSU after those last 3 games.
For sure. Could definitely be something brighter for the future for YSU. Sydney Bumstead with it. Scored the last goal for YSU, and the Penguins now moving around the outside. Calandra-Ryan will spin off the defender. She'll add another goal right there. 4 goals today for Natalie Calandra-Ryan off the spin move.
You're going to see it here. It's one of those situations where she's just so aware of where she is on the field. Barely even took the time to look at where she was going, just knew where she was, where she needed to go, and YSU takes advantage again. And down by 2.
You were a basketball player, Jake. I know you appreciate that move.
I do appreciate the move. Now, for anybody that knows me, I was no center in my day. I was a big 3-point guy. But, yeah, there's nothing wrong with the old spin move, up, layup every now and then. Nothing wrong with that at all.
Nothing wrong with that. Get in the post a little bit.
Hey, now, when I go to the rec, it's a different story.
I've seen you play at the rec before.
Then I think I'm like Shaquille O'Neal or something.
You basically are.
Yeah, I wouldn't go that far.
Duquesne switching players to go out to midfield for the faceoff. It'll now be Delaney Rodriguez-Shaw, who I'd expected earlier in the game to kind of be on the faceoff. She leads the team with 14 draw controls this season coming into today. She's now back at midfield. Duquesne will control the draw. It's kind of funny. Lazinski moves out of the faceoff position, but the ball flies out to her anyway, so she gets credited with the draw control for Duquesne. 7:23 to go here in the third quarter. It's been a high-scoring third quarter thus far. We're not even halfway through. Duquesne has put up 3 goals here in the quarter. YSU's put up 3 of their own as well.
And that was excellent defense right there from number 25 and Molly Sheridan, being able to jar that loose on what looked like a one-on-one opportunity for Duquesne.
YSU quickly trying to push it onto Duquesne's side of the field, but an interception by Lazinski will bring it right back towards the YSU net. Under 7 minutes to go here in the third quarter. Caroselli with it. Duquesne moving it quickly. Good look right here and going right between the legs of the goalkeeper is number 21, Chelsea Evans, with her 3rd goal of the day.
And I love this move here. You're going to see when we get around to the other side of the net here. We're going to get a little bit of a pump fake to get Steranko up on her toes and then going low. And once you're in the air, Anthony, it's going to be really tough to be able to block anything below the knees there.
Michaela Steranko, junior goalkeeper for Youngstown State out of Pittsburgh, PA. You mentioned this before the game, Jake. Playing against a school that's very close to her home, obviously, Duquesne and Western PA. The Dukes have a lot of PA players on their roster. Lazinski, Donati, Nina Burns. 5 players on the roster for Duquesne from the state of Pennsylvania.
We talked lacrosse is so popular. East Coast, kind of eastern Pennsylvania, western PA, I guess, if you will. But East Coast lacrosse is definitely a very popular sport.
It's a hotbed, that's for sure.
And I just found out, I was talking at halftime to Jordan Miller's mom, who was up here setting up the post-game meal, that I guess just a random fact that Arizona does not have lacrosse as a sport. That's
Really?
just a weird fact. Didn't know that.
Yeah, I've never seen a player from Arizona. Thinking about it, doing prep. Approaching 6 minutes to go here in the third quarter from the Watts. YSU will get possession back after Corrin forces the turnover. Here come the Penguins. Erin Clark moving quickly down the field. She'll drive inside. She'll have a look off the side of the post. The Penguins will retain possession, but Clark had a really good opportunity to catch the Dukes off guard. .5:30 to go here in the third quarter. Erin Clark weaving around the circle, and she'll get a goal. YSU and Duquesne continue to trade goals. Erin Clark with the goal right there, her first of the day, to go along with 2 assists. That'll make it 11-9.
And a shot just from the right hip here up to the top right corner, and YSU's taking such good advantage right now of the little mini run that they are on here. Still down by 2, but could be a lot worse in YSU's case.
And you look at these two offenses, they've kind of struggled. As of late, Duquesne only put up 5 goals against Penn State. YSU put up 11 goals against Marquette and Cincinnati, but a lot of those goals in those last 2 games kind of came towards the end of the game when both those opponents were kind of clearing out the bench a little bit. So for both these teams, Duquesne to have 11 goals here in the third quarter, Youngstown State to already be at 9. It's been a very good day offensively for both sides. You look at Duquesne on the season, only had 7 goals at the end of the third quarter against Pitt. Then you look at Kent State. They were able to put up 12 goals in the first 3 quarters of that one. But regardless, very good showing offensively for the Dukes today. 2 players with hat tricks already in Rodriguez Shaw and Chelsea Evans. Jillian Caroselli with it. She'll pass it off over to Mackenzie Lazinski. Lazinski 2 goals so far today as the Dukes moving around the perimeter. She's one of the PA natives from Flowertown, PA. Delaney Rodriguez Shaw defended by Eris Lindsay. She doesn't want to give it up. And for good being, as she finally does, but 3 goals today. She's had a good offensive showing. 51 seconds remain on the shot clock for the Dukes. A lot of time to work with. YSU needs to get a lot of defensive stops here. Combined with some goals. Lindsay forces that one away. Great turnover forced by Eris Lindsay, and she's on the run. Lindsay over to Calandra Ryan. YSU on the attack. And they're going to be given the goal right there.
And what a huge, huge momentum shifter for YSU. And it all started right here from Taylor Bumstead, and the little shot at the ground there right in front of the crease finds the top right corner, but it all started
Whistle
from
was
that
blown
turnover.
before the goal.
Oh, no.
They blew to stop the clock right before the shot. But Taylor Bumstead will have an opportunity here on the free position right away from the goal. She'll drive inside, she'll shoot. That one's saved. So Duquesne will catch a break, and the Dukes will hold on to their 2-goal lead. Such a great job by Eris Lindsay of causing the turnover. Then YSU had the counterattack. But they come up empty-handed. And here comes Duquesne now, the other side. Rodriguez Shaw. And she'll have a free position attempt. We'll have a stoppage in play. Whistle will be blown by our referee. Our 2 officials on the near side talking it out. And Delaney Rodriguez Shaw with a chance for her 4th goal right here. This will be a big goal if Rodriguez Shaw can score it to get it back up to a 3-goal lead for Duquesne. Both teams with 4 goals apiece so far here in the third quarter. It's been a very busy one for both sides.
And as we know just from the last few games, Anthony, the third quarter is so important for every single team that we've seen come into the Watts.
Rodriguez Shaw driving inside. She'll shoot and she'll score. Number 4 on the day for the sophomore from Long Meadow, Massachusetts. We'll take another look right here as the Dukes get the lead back up to 3.
Did a great job here of just holding on to the last second right before the crease, just over the head and stick of Michaela Starenko. And just like you said, Anthony, a huge goal right there for Duquesne, wiping out Wyashu's could have been goal on the other end, and then getting one of their own on their side.
That's a 2-goal swing. One from what could have been 11-10 to 12-9 very quickly. And Rodriguez, Shaw, and Kalangerayan will be back at midfield for the faceoff. It'll be controlled by Natalie Kalangerayan. But very quickly, the Penguins will lose possession on the foul, and it'll go right back to Duquesne. Here come the Dukes. Lazinski, quick first step. She'll drive inside. And another foul called on Youngstown State. The Penguin faithful not happy with that call right there. It'll be given to Stecker. Chelsea Evans, already 3 goals today. She'll pass it back out. 57 seconds on the shot clock for the Dukes. Looking for their first win on the season today. Great save by Starenko. And she will come down with it. Michaela Starenko coming out of the crease. Making a big save for the Penguins. YSU's had their fair share of looks here in the third quarter. Definitely want to at least get your side to double digits. Want to see the Penguins get their 10th goal here before the end of the third quarter. But Kalangerayan a little sloppy trying to field the handoff. She'll turn it over. Game clock and shot clock separated by just 1 second. They might actually be dead even, actually. And here comes Duquesne. Nice job by McBride of getting that across midfield and setting up the offense.
You get a good look at this angle here of the shot clock and game clock, like you said.
Basically even. Under 30 seconds to go now in the third quarter. Duquesne can drain all the clock that's left here on the third quarter clock. Lazinski driving in, shot a little high, had a very good look. Duquesne with just 8 seconds will have to move quickly. Pass in front of the net, too high for the intended receiver, and that'll take us to the end of the third quarter. It was an exciting one. Duquesne with one more goal than the Penguins here in the third quarter. They'll take a 12-9 lead heading into the final frame. We'll be right back here on YouTube. A 5-4 spurt in the third quarter gives Duquesne a 12-9 lead over Youngstown State after 3 quarters of play. Welcome back into the Watts. Anthony Romo, Jake Stylak back on the call here today. The Penguins are going to need to put together a big fourth quarter and a very clean fourth quarter if they want to come out on top. Youngstown State with a couple of miscues deep in Duquesne territory that ended possessions prematurely.
Yeah, and YSU, the trend has kind of been the same for them the last 4 games here. Well, I guess the last 3 games, including this one here being the 4th. YSU has just, fallen behind the 8 ball a little bit early in these games. They haven't really been able to, they've put together some runs, but they haven't been able to kind of complete it here. So they have 15 minutes to do just that, Anthony, and a game that, in theory, both teams really feel like they need to win.
As you're taking a look at the crowd here today at the Watts, the Watson and Tressel training site in full. It's been a really nice day outside. Like I said last game, it feels like the game was played at 11:30 at night. It got so dark so quick. Same start time here today. It's bright outside.
We got sun here, Anthony.
This is amazing.
We have sun.
Nothing that gives you energy in February in Northeast Ohio like sunlight. Makes the days feel way longer.
You don't need the weatherman anymore because everyone tells you all about it.
That's true. Aaron Clark working behind the YSU net. Just underway here in our fourth quarter of action. YSU looking for a fourth quarter comeback here today. Clark will pass it off to Allie Corrin. She'll drive inside. High stick connection with her face mask. She'll have a free position attempt. Take a look right here. Nice find from Clark. Great cut from Corrin. Finding the open space. And a yellow card will be given to Casey McBride. Allie Corrin driving inside. She'll shoot. And another save right there. Great job by Piercelak. She's now saved 5 out of the last 6 free position shots that Youngstown State has had.
What a day so far from her, huh? 10 saves total for Piercelak, and she has been getting hammered today on some of these shots.
Maddie Piercelak already at a season high. Like you said, 10 saves today. Her previous season high came last time out against Penn State where she had 8. So a great start to the fourth quarter for Duquesne, getting another stop on a Youngstown State attack. The Penguins have outshot the Dukes 23-21. They've had 19 shots on goal, but Piercelak has just done a good job keeping them out of the net. Here comes Chelsea Evans, working behind the YSU net. She'll get fouled. .27 left here in the fourth quarter. That'll be a turnover. That'll give it back to YSU. Eris Lindsay now with it for the Penguins. She'll give it up, as YSU will get it across midfield with Shannon Collin. YSU had a great opportunity their last possession. Allie Korn could not convert on the free position attempt, though. Kalandra Ryan will give it up. Bumstead with the shot. Right into the stick of Piercelak, though. Korn looking to steal the pass on the clear attempt. Lost her footing, and Duquesne will keep it. Casey McBride, freshman out of Manahawkin, New Jersey. Had a good start to her freshman campaign. YSU will get it right back. And here come the Penguins once again. Duquesne down a defender, 2-on-1. Korn will give it up. Erin Clark will shoot it. She'll score it. That's what I like to call a counterattack right there, Jake.
Absolutely. A little 2-on-1 drill, as you would call it.
Go back to basketball.
Go back to basketball. Little 2-on-1 here. Korn to Clark, and Clark makes a couple little pump fakes and gets the goalkeeper in Piercelak a little far out of the crease.
So we'll have a stoppage in play on the field. Timeout called, 12:30 to go here in the fourth quarter. We'll take a break too. We'll be right back. "12 minutes, 30 seconds to go here in our fourth quarter of today's action between Youngstown State and Duquesne. Anthony Romo, Jake Silak back on the call here on YouTube. Duquesne timeout was called after Erin Clark scored a goal for the Penguins, her second of the day. She has 2 assists as well to go along with 4 points, which is second currently on the team. Only 2-goal deficit for YSU, Jake. They're well within striking distance.
They are, and they've done a good job so far of keeping themselves in the game when it looked like Duquesne had a chance to almost put it away in a sense. Obviously not put it away, but kind of get that feeling involved in there. So YSU's done a good job of answering the run, but they need another one of those runs like they had earlier in the third quarter, I believe.
YSU controlling another draw. They have now controlled 16 draws to 11 for Duquesne today.
Definitely a positive right there for the past few
Huge.
games.
Natalie Calandra-Ryan with it behind the net, so a lot of time to go here in the fourth quarter. Calandra-Ryan will spin off the defender. She'll lose her footing. Nice pump fake, and Calandra-Ryan will score.
Utilizes the pump fake to perfection there, Anthony, as we always like to say. Such a tough move to make to keep the ball in the net there, but we'll see it here. Just goes up, gets him up on the toes, and just like that, Piercelak not able to get back down to it, and YSU finds a way to make it 12-11.
And Calandra-Ryan was kind of gift wrapped that goal. Casey McBride lost her footing when Calandra-Ryan did one of those patented spin moves again. Natalie Calandra-Ryan now 9th time in her career that she has scored at least 5 goals in a game. She has an assist to go along with that. She's up to 6 points.
It's pretty good.
You'd say, to say the least. Natalie was one of the few bright spots for YSU against Cincinnati last time out. She had 4 total points, 2 goals, and 2 assists for the Penguins. It's only a 1-goal game, Jake. Starting to get exciting here at the Watts.
It is.
You can tell the crowd's really starting to get into it as well. Allie Korn driving inside. She gets tripped from behind. She might need an ice bath after today. She has taken a lot of hits today.
There's always one for YSU that seems to take a pretty good beating. Aaron Clark got the
short end of the
short
stick.
end of it last week.
Allie Korn will have a free position attempt now. From the left side of the net. Can YSU tie it up? They've been playing the comeback game ever since late in the first quarter. Korn will drive inside, shoot high off the stick of Piercelak, and Duquesne will get it back. Now YSU led 4-2 actually, with 14:29 to go in the second quarter. Duquesne took a 5-4 lead with 6:39 left in that second quarter. They have led ever since. But you got to give credit to Youngstown State, who have lost 2 consecutive games. You knew Duquesne was going to be hungry coming in today looking for their first win. When the Penguins went down, they did not pack it up. They've continued to battle all the way through.
They have, and it's really good to see, especially given the result of the last 2 games. It's very easy for YSU to see themselves down that much again today and kind of throw in the towel, if you will, but they haven't. They've stuck with it. They've stuck with the game plan, and YSU has a chance here to pull off a pretty big comeback.
It seemed that Duquesne was grabbing all the momentum back in that third quarter. They went on a big run after YSU scored 2 quick goals, but the Penguins have weathered the storm. Duquesne's got a free position opportunity right here. It'll be Delaney Rodriguez-Shaw with the chance. She already has 4 goals today. .45 to go in our fourth quarter. Rodriguez-Shaw driving in. She'll shoot off the post. YSU catches a break for the time being. Duquesne will keep possession, though.
Such a small target to hit that bottom right corner there and bounce off.
We're going to have another YSU foul from behind. Driving inside was Chelsea Evans.
And YSU is not going to be happy about that call. They thought they got it clean right there on the stick. The referees saw it different. And we will look at a free position chance here for, like you said, number 21, Chelsea Evans.
Evans looking for her 4th goal of the day right here. She'll drive inside. She'll shoot. And she'll score. Chelsea Evans now with a career-high 4 goals here today.
Evans elects to go low here again, and it's worked out so far for Duquesne and both squads really when they've gone that direction. So tough as a goalkeeper to judge where the ball is going to bounce there. Both teams know it. Both teams have utilized it. And there's a score again from the Dukes and Chelsea Evans.
13-11 now our score. 10:22 to go here in the fourth quarter. Still a lot of time left, but it feels like Duquesne was really able to swing some momentum back their way after missing the initial shot by Rodriguez-Shaw, but getting it back and scoring. with Chelsea Evans.
They've done a really good job of answering the call when YSU has given them.
Lazinski has now stepped back into the face-off role. Her Natalie Calandra-Ryan on it, and Mackenzie Lazinski, excuse me, will come down with the draw control. We'll have a quick stoppage in play. Approaching 10 minutes to go now here in the fourth quarter. Chelsea Evans, like we mentioned, now a career high 4 goals today. Freshman out of Marlton, New Jersey. Lazinski will pass it over to Delaney Rodriguez-Shaw. And if you're the Dukes, the clock is obviously in your favor now. Defended by Lindsay, she'll lose her footing. And possession will go to Youngstown State. Here comes Tristan Chang with it on the far side of the field. Penguins looking to continue to fight and claw away at this deficit. Aaron Clark working behind the net to the left side. Trying to get past the defender, but she cannot do so. Good defense by McBride. She's done well all day defensively. Natalie Calandra-Ryan now getting a first step on the defender. She'll shoot and she'll score. Goal number 6 on the day for Natalie Calandra-Ryan. She did a good job just blowing by the defender. Had a good look. And another one of those pump fakes. And then she finds the back of the net.
And the pump fakes are just so effective. And honestly, too, Piercelak was kind of ready for the pump fake. She didn't really bite on it, but with that stick so high in the air, expecting that top shot, it's so hard to get it back down there. And Calandra-Ryan knows that, scores, and YSU only down by 1 now with 8:58 remaining.
Yeah, it's back down to a 1-goal game. This has been a
forth.
really exciting game.
Yeah.
Two teams that are looking for some good seasons. Duquesne was 7-10 a year ago. YSU was 10-8. Lazinski and Calandra-Ryan back out to midfield for the faceoff. Draw control will go to Duquesne. Another nice job by Mackenzie Lazinski. Just being in that face-off role at midfield, jarring it back her way. The Dukes will get possession. Chelsea Evans defended by Lindsay. Almost lost her footing. She'll stay on her feet, though. Approaching 8:15 to go here in the fourth quarter. Nice look inside. The shot in the goal. Duquesne answers once again. Campagna, this time with the goal.
Great look here from the end zone of the Watts here. And like you said, to Campagna, who just catches it and fires away. From point-blank range, it's going to be successful a lot of times.
Julia Campagna with her second goal today and the second goal of her career. It's been a very good showing for her today. And the lead is back up to 2 now for Duquesne. They lead 14-12. Time slowly starting to really become a big part of Youngstown State's comeback effort. These faceoffs become really crucial. You want to control these draws so Duquesne doesn't have the ability to milk time off of the clock. This draw control will go to Aaron Clark. Nice job fighting through the contact from behind by Casey McBride. Clark, 2 goals and 2 assists so far today. One of the captains for Youngstown State this season in her junior campaign. Bumstead trying to drive past the defender. She cannot do so. We're going to have a foul called. This one will be called on Jesse Barr. Just under 8 minutes to go here in our fourth quarter. Allie Garrett will pass it off. Bumstead driving in. Sydney Bumstead loses possession. Garrett will keep it. She'll have a chance. She'll shoot and she'll score. Allie Garrett, the freshman, stepping up yet again. Her first goal today, and it couldn't have came in a bigger time.
Great awareness to stay with it and not expect that foul call. And then while all the sticks are in front of her, she goes right underneath of all of them, underneath the stick of the goalkeeper, and finds a way.
We'll have a quick stoppage of play. 7:31 to go in the fourth quarter. We'll be right back. .7:31 to go here in the fourth quarter as the sun is starting to set over Youngstown. Anthony Romo, Jake Silac back on the call. Jake, you can pretty much say for the first time today, the sun will not play a factor. And Youngstown State is looking to complete the comeback.
YSU has a good opportunity in front of them here, like you said, to complete this comeback. And Duquesne has an opportunity in front of them to kind of get a statement win here for their first win of the season, and it would be holding a lead. So Duquesne and YSU, something to really play for here in the last 7 minutes and 31 seconds.
Possession of the draw will go to Duquesne. Allie Garrett with the first goal for her today for Youngstown State before we went to our media timeout. That was her 7th on the season. Approaching 7 minutes to go here in the fourth quarter. Duquesne has had an answer for every YSU goal here in the fourth quarter. Do they have another answer here? Look at our fourth quarter scoring. YSU has scored the first 2 goals, and then the 2 teams have traded goals ever since. Duquesne, YSU, Duquesne, YSU. Chelsea Evans and Julie Campagna have the 2 goals for Duquesne here in the fourth. And they get another goal right there. Mackenzie Lazinski quickly pushes the Duquesne lead back up to 2 goals here with just 6:42 remaining in the fourth quarter.
And just like you said, Anthony, do they have an answer? Yes, they do. Absolutely. And Duquesne has done a really good job all day long of, just like you said, finding those answers when they need them. And so far, Duquesne still holding that 2-goal lead here.
She had 2 defenders on her back in Eris Lindsay and Tristan Chang. She was able to fight through the contact, and Mackenzie Lazinski now with the hat trick today. She has 3 goals. Her second hat trick of the season. Had one against Pitt in the season opener. The Dukes, like you said, looking for their first win on the season and looking to avoid dropping to 0-4. Another draw controlled by the Dukes. And they really have a chance to put YSU in a hole if they can score on this possession. McBride will pass it out.
You might see them here start to take a lot of time off the clock.
67 seconds remain on the shot clock for Duquesne. They have YSU basically right where they want them right now. Chelsea Evans trying to drive inside on the defender. She'll have to give it out. Nice job by Shannon Collins standing strong. Holmes now trying to work on Byer. She'll put it on the ground. She'll put it in the back of the net. And a big goal right there from Chloe Holmes. Her second of the day. That'll push the lead up to 3.
And this could be, not the dagger, but this could be a real big turning point here for Duquesne. And YSU, really, they're going to have to pick up some intensity here.
The Penguins will call a timeout. 5:47 to go here in the fourth quarter. We'll stay right here. Give you a little bit of a game reset. YSU has shot. They have more shots today than Duquesne. 28 to the Dukes 26. 24 of YSU's 28 shots have been on goal too, as you're taking a look right there. But Maddie Piercelak has done a great job in goal today. 11 saves, which is a season high. Her career high was 17 against Ohio State, which came last season. 5:47 to go here in the fourth quarter. Duquesne has been led by 2 girls with 4 goals, and Delaney Rodriguez-Shaw and Chelsea Evans. Then Lazinski has 3 goals, Holmes has 2, Campagna has 2. Youngstown State, they've been led by sophomore phenom Natalie Calandra-Ryan, who has 6 goals today, 7 total points. Other than her, Erin Clark has 2 goals, Sydney Bumstead also with 2 goals for YSU. Penguins jumped out quickly here in the fourth quarter, scored 4 of the first 6 goals to get it down to a 14-13 deficit. Got it down to 1 goal, but Duquesne has quickly scored the last 2 goals to make it a 4-4 spurt here in the fourth quarter. They lead 16-13.
Yeah, and the big stat that you were talking about right there, the save differences, YSU does have Duquesne pretty much beaten in a lot of these statistical categories. However, Duquesne, like you said, 11 saves to YSU's 4. So, even though as far as shots on goal are concerned, YSU is leading that department, Duquesne is just doing a much, much better job on the defensive end than YSU.
You can lead in all the categories you want, but the main category that matters is the numbers on the scoreboard, and that's where Duquesne is beating YSU right now, 16-13. The Dukes, all the energy in the world, as you can see right there. YSU's going to pretty much have to control every draw from here on out, at least while they're trailing. So Natalie Calandra-Ryan, who's done a good job of that today. She has 10 draw controls, which puts her season total at 27. Mackenzie Lazinski's done a good job for Duquesne today once she's been on the faceoffs. This one goes right in the air. Possession will go to YSU. So you gotta imagine the Penguins are gonna move quick. We have a foul on Duquesne. YSU will keep possession. Erin Clark working to the right of the net. She'll drive right inside, she'll shoot. Wide of the net. Possession will go to Duquesne. Penguins moving a little bit too quick there. The Dukes will get it back. Casey McBride with it. We're gonna have a stick check. Foul called on Allie Garrett. Duke's looking for a ball. They finally get one back in. Duquesne can really take a lot of this time off now. 60 seconds still remain on the shot clock. They're in no rush. With it is Barr. Jessie Barr defended by Eris Lindsay. She'll give it up. Over to Caroselli. Now Mackenzie Lazinski trying to get past Jordan Miller. 25 seconds remain on the shot clock. Caroselli spinning in, she'll shoot. Saved by Steranko. And here come the Penguins. Just 4 minutes remain in the fourth quarter. Every pass is crucial from here on out for the Penguins. Allie Garrett, 1 goal today. She'll back it out. Pass it over to Clark behind the net. Looking for Bumstead on the cut. Had a great look, but she could not field the pass. That's a tough break for YSU.
YSU had such a good opportunity right there with Bumstead on the cut. Found herself virtually wide open with a clear one-on-one. Not able to handle it, and like you said, ball back to Duquesne.
But YSU will get it right back here. Right as you say that. 3:05 to go here in the fourth quarter. Really starting to get to desperation time for YSU. Erin Clark will maneuver behind the net. She'll get good positioning. She'll fire a shot. That's wide. We'll stay with the Penguins and Natalie Calandra-Ryan. Calandra-Ryan, 6 goals so far today. She's had an outstanding afternoon. She'll lose possession, but Garrett will keep it with YSU. We're gonna have a foul called on Duquesne.
And the X is gonna be so important here within the last 2 minutes and 25 seconds. If YSU are just gonna start taking a lot of shots to the back of the net going out of bounds, that leaves a girl back there, hopefully to get the possession back to YSU.
Sydney Bumstead will back it out. Now the foul on Duquesne. Clock is really ticking. Approaching 2 minutes to go now. Allie Garrett going around the defender. She'll shoot. We're going to have a foul called. We'll see what it is. Two fouls on the play. So try to read the ref's lips. But possession will go to the Dukes. With just 1:47 to go here in the fourth quarter.
We got a little extracurriculars going on over in the corner.
The Dukes now can really feel it. You gotta imagine 1:47 to go, up 3. Good chance to get their first win on the season. And their second win all time over YSU here in the second meeting. Lazinski weaving through the Penguins midfield. Now YSU's really gonna have to stiffen up the defense. Duquesne can simply play giveaway, or keep away, I should say. Not giveaway.
YSU would love them to play giveaway right now.
You could play keep away. The game clock and shot clock now just separated by 2 seconds.
I'm gonna add that to my all-time Anthony Romo lines.
Giveaway. Play giveaway, Duquesne. We'll take the giveaways. But, I mean, you got to give it up to the Dukes. YSU came out with that first punch. as the Penguins force a turnover here. But Duquesne weathered the storm. They've led for the entire second half and a lot of the second quarter.
Yeah, and Duquesne's done it all day long, just what they've needed to do their job is always what I like to say, and they've done it perfectly today, and it'll end up with what looks to be their first win of the season.
Duquesne will snap a 3-game losing streak to start the season, a 4-game losing streak overall, going back to their Atlantic 10 tournament loss a year ago. They're looking to pick up the strides that they had towards the end of last regular season. They won their last 4 games heading into the A-10 tournament. It was their first A-10 championships appearance since 2019. So Coach Corinne DeRogers and her team looking to build off of a big win on the road here today. Youngstown State will head on the road for the first time all season after today. They'll head to Niagara and then a big test against a Big Ten opponent in Northwestern. Duquesne, on the other hand, they will stay on the road as well. They'll head to Stetson their next time out. Duquesne, your winners here today, 16-13. Jake, you have a little bit of time off now. We'll be back at home March 14th when YSU plays host to Gardner-Webb. You have any final thoughts from today's game?
Leaving the friendly confines of YSU, time to get a win on the road.
Definitely. YSU will drop to 1-3. Duquesne will move to 1-3 with today's win. We'll see you next time here from the Watts.